It was a quiet February afternoon in Delphi, Indiana. Two teenage girls set out on a simple hike along the Monon High Bridge Trail and never came home. What happened in those woods would haunt an entire town, spark one of the largest investigations in Indiana history, and leave behind a haunting audio clip that continues to send chills down the spine of anyone who hears it down the hill. Tonight, we explore the tragic case of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, the Delphi Murders. Abigail "Abby" Williams was 13 years old, artistic, fun-loving, and always laughing. Liberty "Libby" German was 14, outgoing, athletic, and described by friends as fiercely loyal. The two best friends did everything together. On February 13, 2017, the girls had the day off school. They decided to spend the afternoon hiking the Monon High Bridge Trail, a popular but somewhat isolated trail in Delphi. At 1:35 p.m., Liberty's sister dropped the girls off near the trail. It was a bright but chilly winter day. By 2:07 p.m., Libby posted a photo to Snapchat of Abby walking across the abandoned Monon High Bridge, a rickety structure 63 feet above the ground. It was the last known photo of Abby alive. When the girls failed to show up at the agreed pickup point later that afternoon, family members grew worried. By evening, police and volunteers were searching the trail. But as darkness fell, there was still no sign of Abby or Libby. The next morning, February 14th, searchers made a horrific discovery. About half a mile from the bridge, in a wooded area near Deer Creek, the bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German were found. The exact details of how the girls were killed have never been fully released to the public, even years later. Investigators kept much of the crime scene evidence tightly guarded, hoping to protect the integrity of the case. From the very beginning, one detail set this case apart. Liberty German had captured video and audio on her phone. The video showed a man walking toward the girls on the bridge, now known only as Bridge Guy. His hands are in his pockets, his head down. Moments later, his voice is heard on the audio, "Guys down the hill." It was chilling evidence. But the clip was only a fragment of what investigators possessed. To this day, authorities have never released the full recording. The Delphi murders sparked a massive investigation. Hundreds of tips poured in. Police released sketches of the suspect, not once but twice. The first showed an older, heavier man. The second sketch, released 2 years later, depicted a younger man with sharper features. The change confused the public and led to wild speculation. For years, names circulated online: local residents, drifters, registered offenders. But despite thousands of interviews and searches, no arrest was made. The killers seemed to vanish into thin air. Some speculated the killer was a stranger passing through town. Others believed he was local, someone who knew the trails well. Internet sleuths pored over every detail, analyzing the audio, comparing the sketches, even studying the way Bridge Guy walked. But without hard evidence, the case grew cold. For 5 long years, Abby and Libby's families waited, hoping that one day, someone would be brought to justice. In October 2022, nearly 6 years after the murders, investigators announced a breakthrough. Richard Allen, a 50-year-old local man, was arrested and charged with the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Allen was a Delphi resident who had worked at a local CVS pharmacy. For years, he had lived just miles from where the girls were killed. Prosecutors have kept much of the evidence sealed, but reports suggest that Libby's phone, eyewitness accounts, and ballistics may link him to the crime. Allen has pleaded not guilty. As of today, his trial is still pending, and the community of Delphi continues to wait for answers. Why were 2 sketches released? What on the rest of Libby's recording? Did Richard Allen act alone, or was someone else involved? Even with an arrest, many mysteries remain. What is certain is that 2 young girls showed bravery beyond their years. By recording their killer, Liberty German ensured he would one day be found. The Delphi murders remind us of the fragility of innocence and the haunting truth that evil can hide in plain sight, even in the quietest of towns.